What's up, guys? This is KT alongside my sweetheart Crystal,
Hello.
and we are going to review the top 10 dancers on So You Think You Can Dance. They all danced tonight, and it was one of my favorite shows I've had so far this season. I think Crystal agrees with me on that. We'll start with the first couple that danced tonight was Kayla and Evan. They danced a Viennese Waltz by Seal, Kiss 'Em Rose. Great song. I know you like that, and I do too. I'm not so sure about the dance. I really wasn't a huge fan of it. It wasn't very smooth.
Well, for Evan, he's usually a very smooth dancer to the point where it's too smooth, like in dances that call for staccato and stuff. And the one time he needed to be smooth, he really just looked awkward.
I was pretty impressed by how they dealt with the height difference, because Kayla was a few inches taller than him. It was pretty funny. She was wearing flats, and he was wearing man heels, whatever you want to call that. But his lifts were very impressive, I thought. He was able to handle her no problem, which I was very impressed by for that. And then on to the solos. This was the first time we saw Evan dance, and I thought he was pretty good. It was a nice change of things. Never seen a Broadway solo before.
His style is very unique, especially because everyone else is contemporary. So it was a nice change.
And I actually thought that Kayla, she was my favorite female solo of the night. I don't know about you.
I think Janine was mine.
Janine was good. I just thought Kayla had a very smooth, she was very smooth with her transitions. She wasn't very erratic. I didn't think like she was in past solos where they thought she threw in too much. I thought she improved on that.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. So again, the solos were very good for them. I think the dance itself they did was not, it was okay.
Definitely wasn't the worst of the night.
Definitely was not the worst. I agree. Brandon and Melissa we have next. These are two of our favorite dancers from the original pairings and together. I was very happy to see them. They did a Broadway routine from SYTYCD, and he has some very hit or miss dances, and I wasn't a huge fan of the hippies theme. But I thought they pulled it off pretty well. I was pretty impressed. I thought they got into the character very well, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good, and like Brandon is always really strong with his lifts because he's a beast.
Yeah.
So
he had an incredible thing where he rolled into a split and then came back up. I don't know how he does that stuff, but their dance was good. This is the first time we also saw Brandon solo. And I thought it was a little. I was expecting a little more. I felt like a lot of his moves were really. You mentioned it. You can go ahead.
Well, I just like his solo in the auditions, which was the last one we saw of him, was so epic and everything. And this one seemed very like thrashy, and he seemed very desperate at times.
There were a lot of parts where like the moves seemed so jerky that it almost like it hurt him, like he was thrashing his head back and stuff like that. So I thought if he toned it down a little, it would have been better. But again, he did some amazing stuff, so we can't really complain. Melissa had another very good, very impressive solo with her ballet training. I mean, it shows through and through, and she was very incredible as usual, I think.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to go to Jeanette and Ade. Those were our other two favorites. They were paired up with the previous group that we just mentioned. They were paired up today, and I thought it was pretty funny because Ade is so much bigger than Jeanette.
She's so little by comparison.
It's kind of ridiculous. But they finally got hip hop, and I really wanted to see Ade and Melissa do hip hop. Unfortunately, they didn't, but I saw Ade do hip hop. I thought he was very impressive. He was very cool with his character. He was very flowy and smooth, and
it was great with the pick. They incorporated his personality into it as well, and he's just a very strong dancer. And hip hop, I think, is going to be one of his strengths.
He is my favorite dancer in the entire show right now. So I will definitely be voting for him. He's definitely one of my favorites. And his solo was very similar to it was a very different song, but very similar dance, I thought, to last week's, which was one of the best solos I've ever seen on the entire show. His backflip, he did another one today that was just as impressive. I think it was a little less appreciative this time because of the angle.
But that's his signature move, I think.
And it was an incredible solo again. Jeanette, is kind of doomed by the ballroom solo, but she's, as they say, a firecracker. She's a salsa dancer. It was very entertaining, I thought.
She kept people entertained by wearing scarves.
Absolutely. So those two definitely were good. Randy and Capono were paired up. Yeah, exactly. They got a paso doble, and I'm not by any means a dance expert, but I know that the paso dobles in the past I haven't been very impressed by, and I didn't like a whole lot. I don't really know why. It's very tough, I think, to get a story into that dance.
Yeah, because it's always where the girl is the cape and the guy is the matador person.
Yeah.
And so there's really no variation, and no one seems to be able to pull it off the way it's intended to be pulled off because it's such a passionate dance, and the music's always so epic.
Exactly, and for this to be a new pair, it was kind of unfair, I think, actually, to give them such a emotionally driven dance. when they were just paired up, and there are parts of it that weren't very smooth. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan.
But another new pair that really pulled off the emotion was Janine and Jason.
That is true.
And that was an amazing dance.
They had
the best of the night,
they had an incredible contemporary routine by Travis Wall, who I haven't seen too many of his dances from season 2.
I didn't watch that.
But from what I've seen, the guy is incredible, and his choreography tonight was incredible.
Yeah.
And they went through with it the whole way. They even kissed at the end, which I was a little surprised by. That was, again, like she said, our favorite routine of the night. I thought it was fantastic. And I wrote this in my notes. Jason, I think, saved himself tonight because I do feel he was the guy who was on the chopping block going into the top 10, but he had a great dance. And I thought he had a pretty funny solo, too. It was very interesting. It was like a southern, like kind of hard to describe. But like
it had personality, which he doesn't show as much of as like Ade or Brandon tend to do. So.
Exactly. So I think Jason saved himself. And then Capono, his solo was better than his last one, although he can't do much worse because his solo last time was very bad, I thought. Randy was solid as she usually is. I think we're going to go to who we think is going to get eliminated now. I think will go home and I think should go home are going to be the same people for once. I think that Randy is going to go home, and I think that Capono is going to go home. I think possibly that Evan still should be the one that goes home. I think
Evan should go home next.
I think he should have gone home last week, but he seems to have the fans that carry him through. Randy, I'm a little worried that she's a very good dancer, but I'm afraid that she's going to lose the fans that she had from Evan and possibly go home this week. So I think Randy is going to go home. Capono and Evan, I think, is a toss-up. But if we're going to base it on tonight, which is probably not the best thing to do, but based on tonight, Capono's going home. Based on the whole series, Evan's going home. Overall, I think Capono's going home.
I think Capono's going to go home because Evan has such a huge fan following. Like, he has such personality and presence that it compensates for his lack of dance skill compared to the rest.
Great. So. Well, that is our recap of the top 10 SYTYCD Dance. Tune in tomorrow at 9 o'clock to see the results, see if we were correct, and we'll be back next week. So see you guys later.
Bye.